Have you ever had one of those little promptings when you were headed down the street and you thought, maybe I should take a different road, only to find out that you just missed a traffic jam? Have you ever had one of those little promptings, a little nudging to give somebody, a friend or a family member, a call, only to find out that when you did, they needed you just at that very moment? I've been blessed in my life to have those little promptings many times. And there's an experience I'd like to share with you today. It occurred on my 25th wedding anniversary. We decided that for our 25th wedding anniversary, we would take a 10-day cruise to the Southern Caribbean on Princess Cruise Lines. We were so excited for this cruise. On this cruise, we decided that it was going to be full-out physical activity. Here we come. We were going to go hiking in Aruba, rafting in Grenada, mountain biking in St. Martin, and hiking to a 450-foot waterfall in Dominica. Now, the preparation for this physical cruise did not start for the first day of the cruise, even though when we got to the ship, we went and checked out the physical fitness facility, signed up for yoga classes and spinning classes, and laid out our trail for our running and how many laps we'd need to do on the ship to hit our mileage. But it started about a year ago, a year previous to this, when we embarked on a journey to do in-home fitness and nutrition boot camps. I made my husband do it. Trim love handles just a little bit, but more importantly, to increase energy. So, my story begins when one of those days of that cruise, I went on my run. I had an awesome run. Beautiful morning. There were dolphins out in the sea, jumping with their schools and their pods, and it was just breathtaking. And as I went around those laps, I thought, wow, I am so blessed. I also, quite frankly, broke down in tears because my son plays for Princess Cruise Line, and I knew he had walked on that deck, and I don't get to see him very much. So it was a pretty impactful run, an emotional run for me. Well, after I did the run, I felt my knee was a little bit tweaky, a little bit tender. If any of you are runners, may relate a little bit. Didn't say anything right away to my husband, and then that day was the day we went rafting in Grenada. So we rafted in Grenada. At the end of the day, I mentioned that maybe we should go hiking to the waterfall tomorrow in Dominica. Doug was like, whatever you want to do, Linda, that's cool. I'm like, okay, well, let me think about it. That night, had a dream that we missed our wake-up time to make the tour. So when I woke up in the morning, I'm like, okay, that's it, we're going to do this. Even as we're heading down, I started to have those little promptings. The little promptings kept clicking at me. We're heading down the stairs. We committed to take the stairs as much as possible on this trip as well. Headed down the stairs, and there was a couple that just approached us and said, hey, would you like our excursion tickets? We're doing a hike in Dominica, but it was a different hike. And I said, no, I think we're good. We're good. Now, in the brochure for this hike, it mentioned that it was an advanced hike, and that we should be wearing hiking boots. We were running shoes. So we started traversing up the mountain with our guide and the two other couples that were on the excursion, the total group of us. It was raining. Dominica is a rainforest, a beautiful, beautiful island. And I was so excited. It was so gorgeous and lush. I love water, almost as much as I love dancing, which we also spend every evening ballroom dancing. We get up, unpack, put my bathing suit in my little backpack because I wanted to swim in the waterfall as well. And we start hiking. We had to ford this river. It wasn't a stream or a creek or a creek, depending on what other part of the country you're from. I happen to say creek. And this river, we actually had to jump across it on these big stones. So it was a little exciting. Meanwhile, we're hiking through roots, and it was rough going. It was a hard hike. We get to this little stream now that's, I understand, about 5 minutes from the waterfall, and my knee went out, my ankle went out, and I went down. 5 minutes before the waterfall. Can you believe it? I was so mad. My husband, I'll go to the waterfall, take pictures, and I'll come back and get you. So that's what he did. The guide stayed with me. My husband came back and he said, okay, we got to get you down this mountain. I said, and how are we going to do that? He says, you're going to scoot yourself up the mountain and down the mountain. I'm like, okay, well, this will be a good tricep workout. So that's what I tried. Figured out that wasn't going to happen. So then he announced, I am going to carry you. I said, no, you're not. No, I'm going to carry you. Linda, we've got to get you off this mountain. We're going to miss our ship. These people are going to miss their ship. I have got to get you off this mountain. So I got on his back. Now, I was in a lot of pain. I could not weight bear. My incredible husband, this should be added to the father's mandate as well. Must carry wife down mountain.
Husband's mandate, there you go.
Carried me down the mountain. And many times almost tripped. Again, it was real rough going. I'm praying, and we realized that the guide was praying because when we got to the end of this excursion, she fell to the ground and said, "Thank you, Jesus!" Now, as we were going through this experience, I'm thinking, okay, I can't wait till we get to that river because that river means we're like done, right, with the experience. What was I thinking when we got to the river? Completely forgotten how we crossed the river, jumping from stone to stone. And that's what Doug had to do with me on his back, jumping from stone to stone. Now, the moral to this story is follow those little promptings. Mr. Toastmaster.